Hey guys, number one Marmaduke fan here. If my cat will stop meowing, there he goes again. We're gonna review Pokemon Adventures Volume 4 and Ultimate X-Men number 27 real quick at the end. In Volume 4, we kind of get a formula break for the series. And from a writing perspective, it's really interesting because they easily could have broken this series, but I think they did a few things to really pull it out and make it work. Volumes 1 through 3 focus on Red and, his journey to become a Pokemon master, to man up. And in 3 volumes, Red basically accomplishes his goals. He becomes the Pokemon champion. A winner is you. And so in 4, a whole new protagonist is introduced. We've never seen this young lad before. And initially he seems like a bit of a Mary Sue, but they do some interesting stuff to kind of to rescue it. So maybe from a writing perspective, what's neat is like how you can have a character who has some of these Mary Sue traits. That doesn't make them a Mary Sue, so long as they have flaws and so long as they have to go on a journey basically and man up, become the Pokemon master, overcome their flaws. So what was really nice about the execution of this is by taking this beyond Red, it became less about following one character's story, and the title is Pokemon Adventures, right? So obviously for a manga like this, it has to be bigger than just one character. The emphasis of a manga like Pokemon Adventures has to be the Pokemans. So 2 years have passed since Red became champion, and he's gotten taller, and he has a cool scarf around his leg. So that's how you know he's older now. And he seems to be very confident and, a lot of competent. He's very competent in how he handles Pokemon. Now, I marked this because this is another example of them doing really creative stuff with the Pokemon. I don't recall if they ever had this idea in the anime or video games at all, but it makes so much sense. So Hitmonlee has these coils in his legs, and so they get the bright idea that it's actually like a wound up spring, so he can do this cool spring kick. And that's just a recurring thing throughout this manga is they will continually do things that don't have anything to do with the games or completely depart from the games, but make the manga give the manga a lot more drama in its own right. For example, the Elite Four in the game, they're sort of in charge of the Pokemon League. You have to beat the Elite Four to become the champion. And here they're more like outsiders who are just really proud of their ability to kick anybody's butt. And they're really basically offended at Red, and they want to test him. And there's a whole subplot where Lorela, the ice trainer, is trying to hunt down his Pikachu, because if his Pikachu gets away, that's like a stain on their reputation. Yellow as a protagonist, or Amarillo de Bosque Verde, it's sort of like they took an aspect of Red's character and they exaggerated it. So the main drama between Red and Blue was that Blue was a more cold and logical trainer, and Red was a bit more of an intuitive and friendly trainer. And Yellow has the character trait that Yellow doesn't want any Pokemon to get hurt. So some of Yellow's allegedly more Mary Sue traits is that Yellow is sort of a Pokemon whisperer. He speaks to Pokemon and they seem to instinctively trust him. He seems to touch them and they are healed. So he seems to have all of these sort of magical Pokemon Jesus abilities. But he also has a set of flaws where he loves Pokemon so much, he doesn't even want to defeat his enemy's Pokemon. So this is highlighted with Professor Oak, who's such a badass he can use just a little wild Spearow and still kick ass with it because he has such a great understanding of Pokemon. Yellow stops the fight without either Pokemon getting hurt creatively. So again, there's this creative use of Pokemon abilities where they're facing off with a Whirlpool, and Yellow gets the bright idea to have Doduo run around Spearow until they're both dizzy, and that ends the fight. So Yellow wins Professor Oak's trust, he wins Pikachu's trust, and Yellow is now on a journey to find Red. He runs into Bill from the earlier volumes, and this kind of establishes the Elite Four and their sort of prideful belief in themselves as the ultimate trainers who can't stand any stain on their legacy. Jumping ahead, we get a little hint that Green's going to be involved in this, and she's on the quest to find Red as well. So because we care about Red, because we've seen him in the first few volumes, we're invested in the adventure to go find Red and find out what happened to Red. And we're still not too sure to what to think of this Kid Yellow with his big straw hats. one of the nice things they do is they play up the mystery a lot. Yellow seems to have like this strange magical connection to his Pokemon. A lot of characters comment on that. A lot of characters want to investigate that and figure out what the strange connection is. So that's pretty neat. They don't just like, oh, Cuddles. I think I'm going to let him in so he'll shut up. Hold on a second. Where are you? No! Cuddles ran off lickety-split. He knew he wasn't supposed to be caterwauling outside my door. So where were we? All right, hopping ahead. I really like this. This is another example of taking creative inspiration from the games. So Super Nerd is just one of these mooks you fight in the game, and they just have the bright idea to make Super Nerd into a character and give him like a whole character arc and like manic, scenery-chewing, evil Super Nerd villain speech, and it's great. It underscores kind of like the nastiness and evil of a character who will like disguise himself as someone, and then shocking revelation, he's really a bad guy. Hopping ahead, we get some little hints that Yellow has such like a close relationship with his Pokemon that he sees them more as friends than he does as tools. And maybe he's starting to develop like a really close friendship with Pikachu. And the implication is it'd be hard for him to let any Pokemon go because he doesn't form many friendships with them. But it also means that he just doesn't have a battle mentality. He isn't collecting a full team of Pokemon to fight. Because he sees his Pokemon as his friends, he's less willing to be what is it? Die hard, fight to the finish kind of trainer. Now, again, more creative stuff. So the Super Nerd is attacking him with like sonic attacks, and Yellow can't get out. So Yellow takes a direct hit, but then attaches his fishing line and his Pokeballs to the boomerang, so it goes back towards Super Nerd. So great creative stuff there. And I think this is where Blue comes back. He's wearing like a cool coat with a piece of shoulder armor on it because Blue is a boss. But this shows a lot of character development on Blue's part. He's learned a lot from Red's fighting style and his compassion for his Pokemon. But Blue's kind of kept his, I guess, more like genius, more calm and collected fighting style. And he pushes Yellow in exactly the way Yellow needs to be pushed. It's good for you to have a good friendship with your Pokemon. It's good for you to want to save Pokemon, but you're forgetting to fight. You're so concerned about the Pokemon not getting hurt. Whereas Red was the kind of guy who would defeat his foe and protect the innocent Pokemon. And I love this line that Blue isn't even sure how he'd do it, but he just knows that Red would find a way, because Red, as a man now, Red's gone on his journey and become a man. He has earned Blue's respect. There's also a really, really neat backstory for Blue, where he's going to have to basically train Yellow to get Yellow up to speed. And we see a face-off that Blue had with Agatha of the Elite Four, another formidable trainer. And more creative stuff. So she uses Dream Eater on him, and great writing idea. Because it's Dream Eater, that means that Blue has to have a dream, and we get some backstory and character development for him, and we see he had some sort of trainer who really pushed him and like told him, like, when you get knocked down and you're hurt, you gotta get back up and suck it up, kiddo. And Blue's argument, well, isn't that what the Pokemon are supposed to do? And the point is, for you to be a good Pokemon trainer, you've got to suck it up. You've got to know how to fight yourself, so you intuitively understand the Pokemon. So they're directly connecting like the man up kind of story arc to the Pokemon battles themselves. And of course, there's like a little kid who Blue is helping him to find his Pokemon again. This is just a nice little touch. When it's a little kid character, his Pokemon is drawn in a little bit more of a cutesy style, whereas Blue's Pokemon are drawn in a little bit more hard-edged and cool style. Just lots of neat little touches like that. So that is Volume 4, a brand new protagonist. They shipped off the main protagonist. It was a real daring risk, but they're making it work by having Yellow's nice traits, like being compassionate to Pokemon, also being a negative trait in that it's stopping Yellow from fighting the way he needs to fight to overcome evil. Amarillo del Boca Verde, or whatever it is. That's a great goofy name. All right, X-Men Unlimited number 27. This follows Neil Shara. And one of the important things about this is This is Chris Claremont writing, and Chris Claremont is famous for being a bit verbose. I think he balances it pretty well. Like, it's a pretty verbose comic, but unlike Brian Michael Bendis, he isn't covering up the beautiful art too much. He's also making sure that there's like a central focus on one character, and a lot of neat stuff happens. Now, the art, Brett Booth, who I think is still working, Ron Lim. I think I've seen a few of Ron Lim's stuff on Twitter, but I haven't followed him closely. And then like 6 inkers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 inkers, which is always a sign of a coming up on a hard deadline. And they did some pretty smart stuff to obscure it. So this is like kind of like a nice Eric Larson-esque inking style with lots of like hatchy line work in it that I really dig. And so when they have a flashback, they switch to the other inking style. That's a pretty smart idea because the flashbacks have a different feel or mood from the regular scenes. But then there are later pages where it's just really awkward or a face isn't quite right. So I guess that's the problem. It was a little uneven, the inking quality throughout, but it's still a very fun 90s-rific comic. Great character emotion. It just gives you kind of like a backstory for a new X-Men and, you know, what his emotional turmoils have been, what kind of drives him. He goes through the classic experience of using his power. That's the face I just wasn't digging. He goes through the classic experience of using his powers for the first time. There's one more thing I wanted to highlight is they run into Rain, who I think was originally one of the new mutants. And like one of the big things about Rain, she was raised in, I think, like some kind of like very Puritan household, and her parents weren't big on mutants. And so Chris Claremont just does this nice little thing of like they have a little cross on her cross necklace for her still. So it's a nice little visual form of character development. Nobody makes like a big deal out of it. Later, she gets a little bashful when one of the guys is running around naked because his fire powers burned up his costume. So it's just they do really nice stuff to try to give you an idea to latch onto for the character. Oh, she must be some kind of Christian girl, even if you don't know her that well. So a very fun issue. I don't have much familiarity with. I think I mostly have read the Uncanny X-Men. I don't think I've read many of the alternative X-Men books, but it was a nice, solid quality comic. All right, 2 recommendations. That's it. I'm number one Marmaduke fan. I love you guys. Catch you later.